Good morning, card communities. RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Doing a bit of a face-to-face conversation today. I think it just goes more. It's more appropriate given how I'm going to show off things today, rather than doing a behind the scenes thing. So, hope you don't mind dealing with my ugly face for the rest of this video. But if you do, sorry. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 1984. O-Pee-Chee, a 1984 Mike Schmidt O-Pee-Chee sticker. There's that in the back. Nothing fantastic, but it is a nice image of Mike swinging the bat. O-Pee-Chee stickers were exactly the same as their Topps counterparts in the period in which the stickers were a thing. So, my random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Today's random baseball item of the day. I went to the local Philadelphia Phillies minor league AAA affiliate, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. I went to their game Friday night, and it was Christmas in July there. And they were giving away to the first few thousand fans, which, believe it or not, they almost drew 10,000 fans for the Friday night game. It was 9,400 and something. So the Iron Pigs do pretty well for themselves in Allentown. But what they were giving out were little snow globes, and I mean little snow globes. So the sponsor was the Giant supermarket chain up here in the Northeast. And you can see a little snow globe. Let me spin it around here for you. And on the back it says Iron Pigs. And then inside is a little keystone shape with a pig in a baseball uniform leaning on a bat. So it's a really cool little the Iron Pigs thing. That's the same image on either side of the globe. It's a keystone because Philadelphia is the Keystone State. So really cool little thing. Something I'll put on a shelf or a mantle somewhere and just forget about until somebody says, "What in the world is that?" And then I'll tell them. So anyway. Today's trivia question: on this day in baseball history, July the 28th, 1971, this baseball legend, mostly known for his defensive greatness. He is widely considered one of the best, if not the best, defensive individual at his position of all time. Committed 3 errors in 1 inning in a game on July the 28th, 1971. Name him. Which playing for, again, a 3-pack of Hall of Fame cards. It's 3 Hall of Fame cards, but 4 Hall of Famers. Pretty cool. So I got you a 1988 Topps Kirby Puckett. Topps Archives card from 2023. Of Lou Brock, really cool Lou Brock images on that one. And then from the Conlon collection, Lloyd and Paul Wainer together on a card. Really awesome image. It's amazing how, I mean, they're brothers, so you expect them to look together, but I can tell you there are some times I simply cannot tell the difference between Paul and Lloyd Wainer. So that's what you're playing for. All you got to do if you want to get those cards is send me an email with a guess. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will we will pick a winner on Sunday. Good luck to everybody on that. So today, a couple months ago, I finished. I had been a Mike Schmidt collector for years. Obviously, being from Philadelphia, that's not hard to believe somebody my age would gravitate towards Mike Schmidt being the person they want to collect. When I finished my Topps run, I've begun other projects of other PSA set registries. I am very much a set collector, and as a set collector, my brain works in that manner. I want to have a checklist of things to acquire that can be completed. So in other words, I'm not going to start something that doesn't have an end. I don't. My mind doesn't work that way. I want to get to the end and then move on to another project. I know a lot of people, nothing ever ends in this collecting. Well, nothing ends, but I move on to other things to end. Anyway, I decided recently I want to start picking up other player runs, but which player to want to go for, which one to go for. And I thought to myself, since Mike is a third baseman, why don't we go for all the third basemen in the Hall of Fame? Let's do their player runs. So my first one I started with after Mike Schmidt was Wade Boggs. And a couple months ago, I finished my Wade Boggs collection. And I just wanted to show off all the cards from my Wade Boggs player run. All right. Tell you a little bit about it as I go through. So I have here the first one, PSA 10, 2000 Topps. And this is the Topps basic set. So it's all of the basic cards from Topps featuring Wade Boggs. So all the career stats. I don't know. I didn't look it up initially, so forgive me for not knowing the answer to this question. But on the back, he's listed as being 3,010 hits. I don't remember what he ended up with in his career. So I don't know if this is a career complete card or not. But that's card number one. So he goes from 2000, obviously, all the way till 1983. Famously, his rookie card is a 1983 card. So one of the things I stipulated in my run that I wanted to put together was I wanted to try and at least, because of the more recent cards, I wanted to at least get a 9, if at all possible. So here's the 1999 card in a 9. Still the Rays at this time. Over the side. It's hard to, we all know he was with the Rays because he was with the Rays when he got the career hit 3,000, but it's just so weird to picture Wade Boggs with the Rays. So here's an interesting card. This one is one of my favorite in the run, and I'll tell you why. It's the manner in which it was acquired. So 1998 Topps in a PSA 9. Now, the reason to me this is interesting and probably my favorite card of the run is I couldn't find a PSA graded card anywhere. And I'm not going to buy a raw card and send it in to get graded because you don't know. I didn't know if I was going to get a 9. And, I figured PSA 9s of Wade Boggs cards were probably pretty easy to acquire. I figured, the people are sending in thousands of modern cards to get them graded all the time. So I didn't think I'd have any trouble finding one. I couldn't find a PSA graded card from 1998 anywhere. Didn't matter the grade. I couldn't find a PSA graded 1998 Topps anywhere. So I had to go buy a loose one, the best looking one I could find loose, send it in, and hope that it got a 9. And it did. So I'm very excited about that one. That's why it's probably my favorite of the run. All of them, the rest of them are all just, nice cards of Wade Boggs, who was not necessarily my PC player, but still an awesome Hall of Famer. PSA 10 on the 97. Still doing the horizontal image on the back of the cards at this time. 1996 Topps in a 10. And again, a lot of these cards, they're not $20, $30, even in a 10. How about that? That's what I was trying to do. So, 1995, one of the ugliest designs of the 90s, I think. 1995, PSA 10. 1994, another horizontal card. I'm noticing that Topps did a lot of the rear pictures during the 90s because I think Upper Deck started that with the full-size rear images. Although I think a couple other companies had portrait shots in the back during that time. In fact, here's the 1993 Topps in a 9. And on the back, they had portrait pictures accompanying the card. 1992 is one of the most boring designs ever. It's not an ugly design per se, it's just really, really boring. 1992 and a 9. (1991) they took a lot of artistic shots. 1991 Topps, and they had this great image of Wade Boggs against the sky. I'm not sure. I would imagine this was just a backdrop, like a photographer's backdrop scene. It's not like he was outside and they looked up into the clouds. PSA 9 on the 91. 1999, shout out to Shane over at Shoebox Legends. This is his favorite set. Anybody who knows Shane knows he's a 1999 fan. So PSA 9 on the Wade Boggs 99 or 89 or 1990, 89. I think John over at Wade Boggs fans a fan of this one. 89 Wade Boggs on the PSA 9 on the 1989. Too many nines. PSA 9 on the 98. And it's just our classic. I still opine for the old classic cardboard stock from my childhood youth, you know. The wood grain on the 87, PSA 9. The 86 on the PSA 9. Hard to get perfect because of the black border up top. 85 in a 9. Again, I made an effort to get at least a 9. Anywhere there was a 10 that was available that was very inexpensive, I just pull the extra money and get the 10. But for the most part, they're 9s. 84 in a 9. And then lastly, the rookie card, which serves two purposes because it's also part of my post-war Hall of Fame register, also in a 9. So that is my PSA set registry Wade Boggs Topps basic set run. And just want to point out one other thing. I made it a point to look up the PSA set registry and try and find out where John Wade Boggs fan was. And I will say I am a little higher on the list than him. I don't think he was doing like I was. I'm trying my best to get all 10 Mike Schmidt cards. Now, I understand what that number means if I were to ever try and acquire his rookie card. That's a $250,000 card. So let's just say I don't think I'll ever complete the run in PSA 10 format. But I'm trying my best to get all PSA 9s and 10s of that set. In fact, I'm trying to get all 10s except for the rookie card. That's my mission in life. But I don't think John had that same desire because I looked at his list. I mean, they're all, if you're on the PSA set registry, you can look and see what everybody else's set, if you know their handle, their tagline or whatever they call themselves on the PSA set registry, you can look up and find their rank on the set. And he has nothing but PSA 9s. And I bet that was probably purposeful. Because he felt 9s were good enough, and they are. You can't really tell the difference between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10 in modern cards. So I'm sure PSA 9s were just good enough for him. And he didn't want to get a 10. And PSA 9s were fine enough for me for this project. I certainly wasn't looking for PSA 10s, but if I found a PSA 10 that was at a decent price, why not get the 10 instead of the 9, which is what I did. And it's simply because I got like 3 cards that are 10s, as opposed to every card being a 9. That's why I bump up a little higher than John. But John remains the Wade Boggs guru. I think he would say he keeps talking about another friend of his that is has a little bit better collection than he does, actually. So part of the Boggs trust over there. But anyway, shout out to John, Wade Boggs fan, for being the better Wade Boggs collector, certainly, than me. But that is my Topps PSA basic set registry of Wade Boggs. Completed. I have moved on, kind of simultaneously looking at Chipper Jones and George Brett for my next go around at the all-time greatest third baseman of all time and doing their PSA set register. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support both great card media, all right? It's only Monday today, so not everybody has left for the National. But again, shout out to everybody who's going. Please send videos back to us poor schlubs who won't be able to make it. I'd love to see how everything's going, all right? Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Take care.